Hello friends, I am Manish Anand. The RiceInHills.com brings to you a daily analysis of the editorials carried in India's top 5 English newspapers. Friends, the Supreme Court verdict giving the judicial sanction to the enforcement director's powers under the PMLA. The maddening media bankruptcy, as highlighted by the Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramanna, and the deepening political corruption in most of the states. These are the areas on which mostly the newspapers have commented in today's newspapers. Friends, majoritarianism essentially is a shot on intellect. In times of executive cruising with excessive sense of power, other wings of democracy find afflicted with self-doubt and suffer from vision deficit. The three-judge Supreme Court bench upholding the constitutional validity of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 has serious implications for a nation that abides by rule of law and statutory guarantee to fundamental laws. Indeed, the Anna Hazare movement has given a wider acceptability to kangaroo courts. The Jantar Mantar sentiment seems now breathing in the heart of the executive. The Indian Express and the Hindu have questioned the Supreme Court judgment that overturns its own 2017 ruling of rejecting the restrictive PMLA bail provisions. The 1990 and 2010, that was an era of terrorists running amok in India, and the parliament came out with laws which were called draconian, such as TADA, POTA, and now PMLA. The Indian Express takes the Supreme Court verdict to the cleaner, drawing a parallel with the quote, emergency era courtroom debates on whether Parliament can interdict the right to life without the due process, unquote, while reminding that only Justice H.R. Khanna redeemed himself when others' sense of justice was clouded. Friends, the Indian Express and the Hindu have underlined the Supreme Court alibi to grant judicial sanction to the PMLA Act on the premise that the international conventions warranted such a strong law that calls accused to prove innocence for availing bail, besides an official's interrogation records becoming admissible in courts. The PMLA was passed in the Rajya Sabha as a money bill, and that aspect is still pending for the judicial review. While terrorism and international terror funding are the lead motive for the stringent PMLA, the Hindu argued that the Enforcement Directorate is seen going after cases such as cheating, frauds, kidnapping, forgery, and even copyright violations. A progressive society runs on basis of laws and enforcement agencies that pass the test of fire, and the people will need to know the cost of lapses. Friends, Indian media, print and electronic, falls flat on face when weighed on the international standard. The Indian media houses are essentially run by managements who look at journalism as business and thus are severely compromised. Only Deccan Herald could dare to show the mirror to self and peers by carrying an edit, quote, CJI's criticism a wake-up call, unquote. The Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramanna had nailed the media rot while speaking at a book release function. And the Rising Hills friends had prominently carried a news analysis on the basis of his remarks. Quote, A few weeks ago, a bench of Justice U. Lalit observed that any discussion on TV regarding criminal cases in courts would amount to direct interference in the administration of criminal justice. It said that a public platform is not the place to debate proof and evidence, unquote, noted Deccan Herald. However, Deccan Herald has wrongly interpreted that the Chief Justice of India's outright condemnation of the media was limited only to the electronic channels and the social media. The Daily fails to acknowledge that the cancer of paid news first struck the print media in 1990s and afterwards spread to television channels. Now, the sad reality is that a reporter covering a particular news beat, or the chief of bureau, or even the resident editor can be removed with just one phone call by powerful ministers to the management of the newspapers. Friends, finally the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee sacked her Minister Partha Chatterjee. Presumed innocence until proved guilty is for the citizens, not ministers, argued the Chief Minister. But she took the high moral ground after the quote pink fury unquote went viral on social media as WhatsApp rupees 2000 currency notes were recovered from the residences of Chatterjee's aide Arpita Mukherjee. The Times of India, in its edit, quote, politics and corruption, unquote, noted that there is a broader governance implication in the country, while posts of the teachers are on sale in a number of states. The Daily cited the instances of Karnataka and Haryana to slam deep-rooted political corruption. So friends, that was all we had in today's daily analysis of the newspaper's editorials. You may visit theriseinahills.com for our intensive coverage of big issues with deep layer reporting. Do share your comment in the feedback and also share the link of the channel with your friends and do encourage them to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.